Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. So the last time we spoke on Season of Discovery in a more discussion-based format, Phase 3 was nearing its release, and things were left on a fairly positive note. Phase 2 had its new raid, new runes, and minor updates, and the buzz around the game was generally very good. The game had massive traction, and this was probably primarily due to it being something, the World of Warcraft player base had never seen before. And with Season of Discovery coming up on 5 months since its release back in November, I think we've gotten a pretty good idea of, what to expect heading into the level 60 endgame. The rune system that gives you new abilities of your choosing, updated loot and dungeons and raids, some new PvP game modes like Battle for Ashenvale, and the Stranglethorn free-for-all event, gameplay systems like the Wild Offerings. But is this everything? Is this what the player base wanted? Is this your version of Classic Plus? Well, I'm here to break it to you. I don't think Season of Discovery is what a lot of people thought it was going to be. Now, is this necessarily a bad thing? My name's Sky from the Comeback Kids. Grab a cup of coffee. Let's find out. Don't forget, if you're looking for an easy way to find your runes or level up quickly in all versions of World of Warcraft, click that link in the description below to get the Rested XP guide. It's literally the best guide out there for World of Warcraft. I promise you won't be disappointed. Click the link, support the channel, gain rewards. Now, ever since the game-breaking re-release of Classic WoW back in 2019, it seems like Blizzard is doing everything in their power to sort of expand their arsenal within the World of Warcraft to attract as many players back as possible. But as the time periods went on and now we're heading into, the Cataclysm re-release, I feel like the hype for the re-releases are dying down more and more as we travel through the expansions. It feels like based on player wants, they all kind of fall in line and, wanting to stay in the vanilla era and taking on any opportunity they can to do so. We had the creation of the hardcore mode, which was a brutal but very interesting take on playing Classic WoW. We had Season of Mastery, which gave us a Classic WoW feel, but adding changes like new raid boss mechanics and increased health, but they made it very clear there were no class changes. And of course, these modes were great, but the fans have been making it very clear over the last year or so that they want Classic Plus. And the thing is what is Classic Plus? Because it seems like everybody I ask has a very different definition. And because everybody has a different definition, I think this is primarily one of the reasons we are where we're at right now with Season of Discovery. You have one side where they want no class changes, but simply added on content within Azeroth. And then another side where they want class changes and balancing and new spell additions and stuff like that to make classes equal, and then additionally adding content as well. And then lastly, you have other people who believe Classic Plus is just a revamp from level 1 through 60, but baked into vanilla World of Warcraft style, pretty much with just visual updates. So you kind of have to ask yourself, what is Classic Plus to you? And does Season of Discovery fit any of these models? Well, to be honest, I really don't think it does. Now, with BlizzCon finally reemerging after years of absence and countless issues between the company and world-breaking events, it seems like things are actually getting back to normal, and we were gonna get one of the biggest gaming events of the new year at the end of 2023, and players all around the world were super excited to hear what Blizzard had in store. Non-stop content creators and players were hoping and predicting on Classic Plus, and Blizzard ended up delivering something big.
Classic Season of Discovery launches on November 30th. That should be here.
So you got level brackets split into phases, level up raids, new events, class changes, and spell additions, generally things that we've never seen before in Classic World of Warcraft, all jam-packed into one seasonal style of play. And the community and myself were very, very happy about all of it out there. Between a ton of content creators, current players of the game, and people who haven't played WoW in many years returning strictly because of Season of Discovery. And this led to many content creators and players to believe that this was the return of Classic WoW and that this could be Classic Plus. But the more I compare Season of Discovery to what other private servers are doing or other projects, the more I really believe Season of Discovery is just a more casual way to enjoy vanilla World of Warcraft in a seasonal style. Now let me break down why I think that. Project Epoch is one of the private servers at the forefront of Classic Plus in 2024, with their goal being about innovation and bringing players an experience they've truly never seen before or discovered, which is funny. And I gotta tell you, a lot of what they're doing, though, looks really great in a lot of different ways. And obviously, this isn't a sponsor by any means. We're strictly just speaking in comparison to Classic Plus and what we're getting with Season of Discovery right now. The private server features over 1,100 brand new quests, entirely new raids, entirely new dungeons to complete while leveling, and even at max level, you know, they have additional bosses in all the new dungeons and raids that were previously in vanilla, new race class combinations, brand new PvP battlegrounds, all classes and specs tuned and balanced to be viable, so, you know, you don't have a Ret Paladin or a Boomkin situation, complete profession overhauls, and so much more. I mean, just from a visual perspective, the private server has added so many things that really add on to the classic feel rather than trying to change it into something completely different. It really holds on to that, you know, 2004 original WoW RPG vibe that, you know, all of us fell in love with back then and kept us loving the game for so many years onward. I mean, look at some of these images of what you're seeing here. All new, revamped Dead Mines dungeon, completely overhauled. You know, you got the Wailing Caverns being visually updated. I mean, all of this just looks like I would be experiencing vanilla World of Warcraft like I was a kid again, but now as an adult, and it does look absolutely amazing. So once again, you have to ask yourself, is this what Season of Discovery was meant to be? Was this the end goal the developers were trying to set out to achieve? I really don't think it is, but that doesn't mean Season of Discovery hasn't been doing something incredible for World of Warcraft and the shaping of the game heading into the future. I could say this for a lot of players, that Season of Discovery has easily been some of the most fun that I've ever had in World of Warcraft. You know, the interchangeable gameplay styles all on the go while still bringing you that impactful vanilla World of Warcraft experience where every little decision you make matters and content feels difficult while your character also still feels powerful. It really is just, from a gameplay perspective, like a perfect middle ground between Classic WoW and what we believe Classic Plus could potentially be. Now, does that mean that Season of Discovery is perfect? No, I would say it definitely has some work to go and needs to improve on some areas. This is one of the reasons why I believe Season of Discovery is more like a glorified testing ground for them to experiment and test things and see what players seem to enjoy as we head into the future, see what players don't like, see what players can take from it, and experiment with the player base, as well as just throwing some fun things out there heading into the future of potentially what Classic Plus could be. We all know there have been many hiccups in the road when it comes to Season of Discovery, and at least one of the reasons for that is probably the high amount of pressure the developers are actually under due to the fact that phases are being released in these sort of micro patches every couple months where there isn't time to test every little feature out, which is sadly a pretty damn big oversight by the development team at this point, and it's definitely been affecting the game heavily as we're in the middle of Phase 3 right now. For example, one of the biggest is being PvP balancing, on how we're just dealing entire players' health bars in a matter of a couple seconds, and our damage is just so much higher than normal, which is primarily due to the overtuned scaling of gear that we've been receiving since the beginning of Season of Discovery, and, you know, how overpowered runes actually make us. Items are just so much more strong than what we normally be getting from vanilla World of Warcraft at this level, and it's definitely showing. You have the really poorly tested Nightmare Incursions feature that was released in Phase 3.
Extra 30% crit on my mutilates, dude. It's so fucked. There we go.
Oh my god, I leveled. Holy shit, dude.
Did you? How long did it?
What? 23 minutes.
What the fuck?
That's
23 minutes to go to what level up? 48?
Yo, that's crazy. Which is an interesting idea, don't get me wrong, but just very poorly executed due to the fact that it was giving players, you know, hundreds of gold and leveling up within 15, 20 minutes at a time. It was very, very poorly developed. And before it was fixed, it kind of ruined the leveling experience in Phase 3 for a lot of players out there. So if you weren't there early to sort of take advantage of this brand new minimally tested feature, you kind of just missed out and other players got ahead by a good amount. You know, I like the concept of them adding new features and ways to level up and make gold. I'm really hoping it sees a revamp heading into the final phase, because I honestly think every player out there doesn't really care to see Nightmare Incursions being like the main source of leveling up, or even or even a main feature from levels 50 to 60. You know, I think it needs to be updated. You got the Stranglethorn PvP event, which it was great, but they reused it once again for the latest PvP event, which players didn't seem too happy about, especially considering the fact that they gave kind of identical item concepts and rewards from the previous phase, which was a little bit lacking on the creative side. So not only have these developers been under a really tight deadline, they also have to split some of their development time, you know, into Cataclysm Classic, which is releasing very soon, and it's really starting to show as their team isn't as large as some of you may think out there. Of course, the problems that we're discussing right now are just, you know, some of the major ones that are on the surface, but that definitely doesn't mean these developers aren't some of the most communicative and dedicated team that I've ever seen. I mean, we had an interview with them back in February, and you could just hear from their voices how much passion they have and care to listen to the community to try and, you know, bring the best version of what Season of Discovery could be to lead us into the future, to even potentially innovate something brand new yet again that we've never even seen. I truly do believe, though, as long as these developers are on board with this project and others even moving forward, Season of Discovery or Classic Plus is in very, very good hands, and I'm excited to check that out. Non-stop, we're getting class adjustments, balancing, raid changes, and updates, gameplay additions, as well as them quite literally asking the community what they want for the future, which is something that is so shocking, and it's almost like a co-development process between the community and developers, and it's really creating something special. You know, we all know in today's day and age, it's very difficult to develop a game in the MMO genre, as we see just a countless number of them fail every single year. But not only that, the World of Warcraft player base tends to just constantly be on this really sharp, thin line of either loving the game or hating the game. And quite literally, you see these players loving World of Warcraft one day and then absolutely hating it the next. You know, the player base is so volatile, in fact, that the game itself has its own like civil war of people who love and hate Classic and then love and hate retail World of Warcraft going at it constantly. And that's probably even caused its own divide between the players, as well as, you know, I'm sure inside the company on how decisions could be handled in the direction of things moving forward. Like when you get this middle ground of Season of Discovery, what's the best course of action? It's very, very interesting to see. The thing is this all kind of leads me to believe that Season of Discovery was not ever completely designed to be Classic Plus, and it should be more well known for what it actually is. Normally, I think a lot of people tend to stay away from Blizzard games due to their, you know, rough past, but at this point, I think we do have to give them a lot of props, particularly in the Warcraft universe. Ever since Holly Longdale took over a couple years ago and Chris Metzen returned, Agrin and Nora are running this team, and, you know, some of the team members on SOD are at the forefront, and the Warcraft universe is just really becoming more in line with what it used to be. On top of adding, you know, unique and innovative gameplay things that we've never seen before, rather than just adhering to a basic formula. Of course, we know that they're going to be, you know, continuing with the re-release of classic expansions because they kind of have to at this point, which who knows how far they will actually take that, but Season of Discovery was something that was brand new, launched in late 2023, something no one ever thought was coming. Kind of a brand new MMO experience, and it's been very successful, man. Not a lot of games can say that's been happening. It's hard to develop a successful game nowadays with how many critics there are and how judged these games are, and how tough it is, you know, on us as players to be expecting such high value games based off the things we've, you know, experienced in the past. I really think this current time period we're in, whether people love Season of Discovery for what it is or not, it's very important, and it's a really damn big stepping stone in what's to come in the next oddish, you know, year or so, which I believe is going to be Classic Plus being announced maybe even at this year's BlizzCon in the next like 5 or 6 months. I would say if you're a World of Warcraft fan in general, there's a lot to be excited for, and the very high subscriber count is one of the biggest statistics to attest to that at the end of an expansion. We have the new retail World Soul Saga set of expansions being kicked off in a couple months, which is going to bring back a lot of players. We have Cataclysm Classic, which there are some people who still have an interest in that. Season of Discovery advancing into the level 60 phase, where generally I think it will be at its peak gameplay-wise, and then you have some off-the-wall gameplay modes like, you know, Plunderstorm, which is their new Battle Royale mode, as well as Mista Pandaria Remix releasing in just a few weeks, which is kind of like their World of Warcraft experience mixed with Diablo in a way. It's very interesting. It seems like the Warcraft universe is doing everything in their power to bring every type of video game style into like a one-stop shop subscription. And I think that's its video for another day, honestly. But I just feel like World of Warcraft players are just so angry constantly. I don't really see a reason why. Of course, you always got to talk about some of the areas you can improve in a game, but I guarantee you with what they're doing with Season of Discovery right now, you're going to look back on these days and this time being some of the really good old days, experiencing something that you've never done before in World of Warcraft. Like, letting negativity blind you just leads you to never enjoying anything at all. So the point of playing a video game is to just try and enjoy yourself with your friends. So just enjoy yourself playing this seasonal realm, man. I promise an official Classic Plus is going to be coming in the future. So go out there, enjoy some Season of Discovery. I don't know about you all, but I don't want to live my life in constant frustration or misery about a video game anymore. It's just weird. Anyways, I know this is a very, very different formatted video. I'm going to be doing things like this a little bit more often, but on a variety of games. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I know it's been a real struggle uploading lately, and I'm sorry. This moving situation is absolutely off the walls alone. I apologize. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all. Until the very end, my name's Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.